The alarm went off for Jana Duggar at 3:47 in the morning. Her hands swooped down to her tummy, which was full and round and buzzing with life. As if in time with her terror, the twins flinched. Like war drums, the June storm in Arkansas pounded on the farmhouse. However, the true tempest began 6 days prior, when her husband Caleb went missing. I didn't notice. No one called. I have no idea. Left behind on a gravel road close to Lake Norfolk was alone his silver Ford pickup with the keys still inside. 8 months into her pregnancy, Jana Duggar, the eldest daughter of the renownedly huge and devout Duggar family, was fighting off contractions along with a flood of dread, scandal, and fervent prayer. The second chapter, Family and Disputes. Faith, family, and discipline have always been the cornerstones of the Duggar family. Jana, who was the eldest of 19 siblings, had effectively raised half of them throughout her childhood. Jana stayed the rock for her family, silent and unmarried, as her siblings married, had families, and progressed through life. Except for when Caleb comes around. Caleb, a gentle-mannered youth pastor and former soldier, captured her heart with scriptures and small acts of kindness rather than flowers. In 2023, they tied the knot in a small ceremony held on the family estate. Shortly after, twins were born. The audience had only just begun to acclimate to married Jana when this catastrophe occurred. Where's Caleb Duggar was the new hashtag trending topic on social media. Duggar, a spiritual trial or disaster. Yet another scandal involving counting on Jana, who is pregnant, left behind? And Jana said very little the whole time. For the most part, aside from the mysterious Instagram post made the day following Caleb's disappearance, he leads me beside still waters. Even in storms I cannot see through. Psalm 23, come back home. Third chapter. The confidential letter. Jana discovered an envelope hidden beneath her prayer diary 2 days following the incident. Written in Caleb's handwriting, it was meant for her. Missing stamp. Never a fingerprint. Something has gone wrong if you're reading this, according to the 1 page of lined paper that's inside. I adore you too much to bring this to your doorstep, so I can't explain it right now, not that I don't trust you. Keep the twins safe. Preserve your tranquility. Once it's safe, I'll be back. You. No set date. Missing information. Slightly hinting at the possibility of peril and sadness. Jana reread it several times. Her rational mind begged her to call the cops. The part of her that was bound to him by blood, faith, and 2 tiny hearts within her, however, whispered a different message. Pray. Wait. Trust. The media panic. Chapter 4. TMZ was stationed outside the Tawnytown compound where her family lived. Journalists set up tents. Overhead drones buzzed. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar, who are her parents, did their best to protect her. However, rumors started circulating about hidden agreements, feuds within the family, and long-buried secrets. Caleb was allegedly spotted in Tennessee boarding a private plane, according to an anonymous tip that was shared with a site. Somebody else said he went into the forest after relapsing into PTSD symptoms. Another, darker one, said that Caleb had discovered a long-buried secret regarding the Duggar family's property, and he was finally quieted because of it. The news was silenced by Jana. Deleted from Twitter was her name. The twins' kicks served as constant warnings of the impending danger, but the agony persisted anyway. The 5th chapter. The prayer at midnight. By the light of the 6 night's candles, Jana had bowed low before her Bible. As she moved, her belly quivered. Pregnancy, anxiety, and unshed tears enlarged her ankles. Faithful answers were not her prayer. Only clarity. I beg you, God, to pen the next chapter of my life if you are the one who created it. Without you, I lack strength. Prior to being mine, Caleb was yours. But, come on. Rescue him and return him to his home. The front door swung open with a creak as she muttered her amen. Emotions were racing through her body. She gasped for air. A trail of footprints. Gradual. Level. Her hand shakily made its way to her phone, and suddenly, a figure stepped into the corridor. Wet, muddy, using crutches. Jana? A voice with a rasp answered. Chapter 6. His comeback. Standing before her, Caleb was almost unrecognizable. Too much beard growth. A wound on top of his head. Damaged denim. They appeared to have witnessed an excessive amount of blackness in their eyes. He knelt down before she could sprint over to him. He coughed out an apology. In order to keep you safe, I had to vanish. They kept an eye on us. Something I shouldn't have found was mine. As a result, Jana did not move. Uninvited tears fell. Your departure has been devastating. And the little ones. I know, he murmured. However, I returned. Plus, I am not leaving this place. Assisting him to his feet, she remained standing. Whispering to the twins, he kissed her belly and said, Daddy's home. The 7th chapter. The disclosure. Like a perfume bottle bursting, truths leaked out over the following 2 days. Corrupt politicians, land scams, and enormous sums of money were all hinted at in documents that Caleb had discovered during a previous church merger. After his recruiters saw that he was digging, he bolted. As he sipped broth in the kitchen, he explained, I thought I could disappear for a while and come back when it blew over. But my army pals were the ones they went after. Someone was even pursued in Little Rock. Jana, who was both enraged and devastated, remarked, You should have told me. I couldn't take that chance, he stated. However, at this moment, they don't frighten me as much as God does. Chapter 8. The work. The water broke that night for Jana. It was foolish to send ambulances. The press continued to follow. So, Michelle, Joanna, and Jill Duggar went all little house on the Prairieanas by midwife-ing the birth in their prayer room. 2 cries disturbed the stillness as the sun rose over the Ozarks. Boy twins. Vibrant. Healthful. Stunning. Jana glanced at Caleb, her face betraying her delight and perspiration. We ought to let them be called psalms. A nod was given by Caleb. A psalm and a selah. Chapter 9. A river of serenity. The media frenzy subsided a week later. After Caleb uncovered some dubious church transactions, the authorities launched an internal inquiry. Important documents were provided by an unnamed whistleblower. Beside their parents, the twins slept in bassinets that had been constructed. And Jana Duggar, who had been dubbed the Forgotten Sister, the everlasting bridesmaid, and the housebound caregiver, had become the focal point of a different type of family. Not flawless. Inconsistently tranquil. However, it exists. On one occasion, while she rocked Selah to sleep, Caleb observed her. He whispered, You're the strongest woman I know. Jana grinned. Being was inevitable for me. With regard to them. Regarding you. As for me. Conclusion. A fresh phase. A few weeks later, Jana started a secret blog called From Storms to Psalms. No advertisements. No advancements. Unfiltered thoughts about rebirth, betrayal, parenthood, and faith. I was afraid I was going to lose everything. The initial entry state. Contrarily, I was acquiring a life that I had never dared to imagine before. It was the twins that rescued me. God lifted me up. As for Caleb, he came back once I stopped attempting to solve every problem and began to have faith in the process. Is there a Duggar incident? Very possibly. To Jana, it felt like a heavenly reroute. Any news on the arrival of twins? Yes. However, so were determination, purpose, and a love that endured a trial by fire. As her own tale, rather than that of a Duggar daughter, she grew to prominence. A fresh tradition starts.